Hey guys, welcome to the final module in the Content Machine training course. Well, we got there. It's been a pretty in-depth course. This is a really quick module. It's just going to tie it together for you and talk a little bit about storytelling and where to from here. So this is how to tell a better story. And what I like to do with my content is just look at frameworks I can use to do things better. And storytelling is one of those things that is so powerful, so fundamental, that you can use some of these things in your content and just get this immediate attention-grabbing effect. And this is a data visualization that shows you the story of Cinderella. And you can see it's a line chart, which I love. I love line charts, which you might have noticed. It goes from ill fortune to good fortune, like a typical growth chart would. You know, it's going sort of up gradually. She goes to the ball and meets the prince. Clock strikes 12. It all goes to shit. Plateaus for a little bit, and then it's got the off-the-chart happiness at the end there. And this is like an arc of a story that gets used consistently in stories like Cinderella that we've been told over our lifetimes from children that really just keeps our attention. In a way, when you watch movies like this, you know exactly what's going to happen, but you still, because it's so ingrained into you, you're still paying attention every step of the way. And if you remember the very first module I did for this course, I talked about my story for WP Curve and my content marketing. And you might have noticed that the Cinderella line chart looks a lot like my income line chart from my story. And part of the reason I told you that story was, because it was a good lesson in content marketing. But the other part of the reason I told you that is because I knew it would get your attention. And the way I tell that story, I try to frame it like you would if you were telling a story in a fairy tale. And the reason I do that when I speak at conferences, and I show this slide, and it really ties it together for people because it makes sure that they really understand it at a fundamental level. So if you're using storytelling to tell either, stories from other entrepreneurs, if you're doing entrepreneurial content, or telling your own story for your own business, or, you're telling any kind of story within your content, then you can look at one of these frameworks and think about how you can do that to send your message a little bit better and really get that ingrained into people's minds. So that's the power of storytelling. You can look at other story arcs other than this one. There are a lot of different ways to do it. This is the one that I choose because I just sort of noticed that as I was telling my story, it was sort of plotting along this graph. And now I really have tried to hone in on telling that story so it follows this. And so when people hear it, it's just naturally ingrained for them. So have a crack at that yourself and just start to think about how you can tell your story in a more powerful way. That is the end of the storytelling piece, and it's actually the end of the entire Content Machine course. This course is pretty detailed, and when I set out to write the Content Machine book and create this course, I really wanted it to be the most actionable content marketing book out there, and I really hope I've achieved that. I hope it's useful for me. If you are planning on taking action on this content and building your own content machine, I would love to see you in my private membership. There's a link over on the right-hand side. There's a special offer which you would have been emailed at the end of this course that talks about that membership and really talks about taking this from, okay, fine, you know all this content, but what about being surrounded with people who are doing this stuff all the time? And that's what my membership is. It's a bunch of people who are running online businesses. They're smart entrepreneurs. We can solve problems quickly. We can talk about this stuff together and really find quick solutions to problems rather than just trying to internalize all this stuff. Get around a bunch of people who are doing this already. And it's a low annual fee that I charge for this. I think it's more than reasonable. I would love to see you in the group. And if this has been useful, please share this, tell people about it, and reach out to me on social media. That's my handle there, @TheDanNorris on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram. And please let me know it's been useful. I've been using the Content Machine hashtag for sharing this kind of stuff as well. So thank you so much for doing the course. I'll see you guys soon.